Hello traders, Jonathan Silver, Forex Flow Trading. It's January the 14th, 2013. It's about 10 Eastern. I want to run through kind of ahead of time the indicator. I just updated the indicator, which our flows are placed at. And then we're gonna go walk through this, and then I'll come back. If we get a trigger, a lot of times I look at it in hindsight, and then I had the thought, well, I might as well post the levels, the new levels when I update it, and video that, and then see how the market plays out, and we can come back to it. As you can see, it's actually January 14th. This chart is GMT, so that's why you're seeing the 15 down here in the time thing. It's 15 GMT, which is 10 Eastern. This is the Australian dollar. The levels are the same, except a minor adjustment in one of them. But for the most part, within a few pips, today's levels are the same as they have been for the past 2 days. So we see, that 97 sell was a really good sell, held the market. I'm not sure we'll revisit it until we kind of reach a target, but if it does, it's a sell as well. And I'm going to run through these pairs, so take a minute. The euro dollar, the solid lines are current levels up here, January 14th, and the previous levels, which was for Friday. Again, not quite sure on the euro. We will revisit the levels during the New York session, but we'll see how it goes. The cap, the levels from Friday actually held during the session and gave a bounce trade, which is we typically look for. And then actually the open in Asia ran up to the cap, but the cap held it. You see this line and sold off as well. But a lot of times over the weekend you might not want to trade that anyway. The buy levels down here, so we'll see how the market plays out over the next 24 hours, and then we can update this. The British pound, today's levels in the solid yellow and crimson, and then Friday's levels in these light blue and then light pink. And that just is how the indicator works. Current day and previous day, we leave the levels on the chart. So from Friday, the 44.62 sell. Not sure. On Friday, the sell level was hit again on the open. This zone that was hit was probably before the levels were posted that day, so you probably would have missed the trade on Friday. But still, the lines are here for the open, so another sell, and actually a good sell in the cable. And so we'll wait and see what develops there. Dollar Swiss, solid yellow, previous line didn't quite reach it, actually kind of based. I believe it was tagged. Thursday levels was actually this as well, but anyway, kind of stuck in the middle right now, so we'll see if it heads towards the sell or the buys first. This is the dollar Swiss. The dollar Canadian, the dollar CAD. Let's see here. It's on the hour chart. The buy levels and the sell levels. So again, too, we need to wait for the market to move, and then we'll see what develops on that one. And last has been the yen pair, which has been a crazy ride. Just real abnormal movement in that one. But if you go back some of the sell levels were just the first touch were good, but if you use them for a second touch, they were kind of blown through. And as it used to flows, you'll know when not to use them again. Or first touch is usually the best. The yen pairs are typically the most volatile, so you want to be the most cautious. But actually, last Monday, the buy on the euro yen tagged it to the pip. It was, I believe, 54, and it went down to about 53. So it reversed off of that, the buy on Monday. Now, obviously, we had some sales, so you'd have to have been a swing trader to really hold it. But if you were, you could have got positioned pretty good last Monday. And there's some craziness from Wednesday and Thursday with the European Central Bank meeting. And then we had on Friday the levels. Not sure they were touched again, and they the weekend gap went crazy. Kind of an overshot. But if you got any experience trading, you know that kind of overshoot with a gap, especially after a run up like that, is a very good risk reward trade setup off of a major kind of psychological level of 120. So anyway, today we'll see if it's going to now head down to the buys. We'll be watching there for a buy, or if it's going to base first and try to take out the sales again. But we'll take a look at it again once the market develops kind of more towards zones for entry, and then we'll go from there. So until next time, good luck with your trading. Okay, guys, we jumped ahead about 24 hours as I've come back on a day later to kind of see how the levels played out. And so I'll be updating the levels, within the next half hour. So wanted to run how it turned out yesterday from sharing the levels ahead of time. So yesterday, the euro actually did move back up to the sell levels, 33.89, 34.08 became the sell zone, and held really well. So an entry at 89 so far has seen about a 80 pip move lower, from top to bottom. Obviously, if you played the move 40 to 70 pips, you're out of the trade. Definitely a way to play it is to see where the levels come out today, and if the levels are lower than yesterday's, then it might be worth a shot to still hold the trade and see if we get a move down to the buy zone and just protect the trade. On the cable here, the cable didn't really reach an entry yesterday after didn't move back up to the sell zone, and then retested yesterday's low so far. So just kind of stuck in a pretty tight range. So no trade yesterday on the British pound. Dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss been really pushing out some of the Swiss longs of those old buys, so it did trigger a sell. Initially, got a pullback for almost 20 pips, which is typically where we move break even, but this would not have been able to get break even, at least on that. The push to the higher sell zone, and then the previous day, and these then kind of reverse the market for the bounce that is a tradable kind of move off of the 44 and even the 59. But the market was definitely pushing with the euro as well, selling off. Swiss is kind of in its own thing, so it actually moved up towards the previous caps. Saw some kind of back and forth there again, coming off of it for 20, 25 pips, kind of that zone. And at this point, we're pushing, testing through the cap, but because of the time I'm about to update the levels, you kind of ignore it at this point, and we'll see where today's come out. So it could have been, break even, depending on how you trade these, maybe stop for a small loss, or taking some of these other levels, getting 15, 20, 30 pips. All depends on how you trade the levels. But with some of the other pairs, even if you took a loss above, on some of these, if you're not out of it, you'd make it up on the others. So overall, with the dollar Swiss, would like to typically see at least a bounce initially, 20 to 30 pips, which allows us to get break even. And then if we break through, we just use the other level, do the same thing. But that's the dollar Swiss. So we got on the Australian dollar. Australian dollar still just, from the sale, from the 97 sale on Friday, Australian dollar just kind of ranging as well. No new entries on that one. Dollar CAD, similar. No new entries on that one. All the action was pretty much in the euro and the yen, and even the euro was, kind of tight, but it got back to the sell. And the euro yen was actually the money maker yesterday as far as levels. So move back up to the sell zone. So either a sell at 78 or at 96. And it straightway at that point began to move, and it moved all the way down to the buy zone within a 24-hour period, which is a very good move. And you're looking at 200, 220 pips. And then actually off of the buy zone, it's bounced actually 80 pips. So you could actually hedge the sell if you're non-US and take that bounce, or exit the trade and take a buy for a bounce, especially if you just carried that down. But either way, euro yen, definitely good trade yesterday, and that's where a significant amount of pips were earned yesterday on that pair. Euro yen and euro dollar triggered some good pips. The dollar Swiss was kind of a iffy trade, and nothing else was really triggered. So, okay, guys, until next time, we'll do this again where I kind of paint the levels ahead of time, and then we'll come back a day later and see what happens. Until next time, good luck in the markets.